Greetings and welcome to my channel. First of all, I want to thank my friend Tiana for making awesome new channel visuals. Now, before we start, please take a moment to subscribe. Okay, now we can start. The cemetery. Okay, let me get this straight. I am a 15-year-old girl who lives in New Zealand, but when this took place I was around 12 years old. In 2016, a couple days before Christmas, the worst thing happened to us. We found out that my auntie died, which was on my dad's side, and they were very close. She was jockey and she fell off her horse and it crushed her. Her favorite thing was the smell of lilies. This will be useful for later on. Anyway, after about 2 years of her death, we visit her again for Christmas, and we have been there to see her many times, but this time it felt different in a way. The air was heavy and I got this wave of dread. It was so overwhelming that I had to stay in the car for a bit. Once I thought that the bad feeling has calmed down, I decided to hoop out and look around the cemetery. And as I was doing so, I smell a familiar smell like the smell of lilies. And at the first, it was comforting in a way, but then I felt like I was being watched. I could tell that whatever was watching me didn't want me there. Like I needed to leave, so I listened to my gut feeling and booked it back to the rest of my family. Shortly after, once all of us were in the car driving back, we saw that there was something in the middle of the road, so we stopped. But the longer we stared at it, the more we realized it was my auntie, and she looked worried. And about 2 seconds later, a car came fly by in full speed, and then she disappeared. I'll tell you now, it scared me, and I couldn't sleep that night. But the longer I thought about it, the more I realized that she saved us that day, and that she really is looking over us. Thanks for reading. I just wanted to get this off my chest, and I know you might not believe me because I wouldn't if I hear this, but this is 110% real, and it's still vividly stuck in my head till this day. Creepy Factory. Sorry, this story seems a bit rushed. The main reason for that is because I can hardly remember any of details. So this happened to me about 2 years ago. My friend Harrison lived in a rural area, which was different from me as I had spent most of my life living in the city. We have spent about a quarter of the summer exploring my friend's mom's ranch and the surrounding areas. One day she took us on the trip to a friend's farm. While she was talking to her friends, me and Harrison went off on a walk around the area. We came across a pretty small factory surrounded by a sea of nettles. That looked like it has been abandoned for a while. We entered through a kicked-down door. In the first room there was a large garage area. By the way, this place stunk like crap. We went into the next room. Inside there was hundreds of 1 meter by 1 meter concrete squares. After I did some research, I found out they were used to haul maggots as the place was a former maggot factory. After that we went into the last room with 2 other rooms attached. In the corner of the room was a small radio smashed up with an axe next to it. This creeped me the hell out. I called Harrison over. No reply. He was gone. So like I said, there were 2 other rooms attached. Both had large wooden doors. One door slammed shut. I ran up to it. "Harrison, are you in there?" I called. "Come on, man, stop messing." No sound from inside the door. I bailed. I ran out of the factory screaming. Stood outside was Harrison. He told me that he saw someone and ran. 2 years later, and I still don't know who was there. However, last month me and Harrison returned as we wanted to film a Halloween special there for my YouTube channel. However, we were told not to go in because CCTV has been installed, because, guess what? People have been living there. Deliver us from evil. Isn't it so scary to stumble on the dark side of things? This scary story isn't from me. This one is from my uncle. My tio is pretty lovable guy in my family. He's been around with my mom since they were kids. Throughout his life he's been having the ups and downs, but he still managed to love us. I asked him about everything that happened to him in his life, since I was curious and interested. This scary run-in that he told me gives me chill to bone and leaves scared of what happened. In 1985 my Tio worked for a cleaning company and he would clean carpets in people's houses in and around Santa Cruz. He would constantly go to the houses alone, which sucked for him. He said it wasn't the best job in the world. One day, my Tio got a phone call to go over and clean a house outside the Santa Cruz. His partner couldn't go with him because he had things to do. So he warned him about these private clubs up in the mountains around Santa Cruz, because he heard that in these exclusive clubs a lot strange and ominous things would happen. So this time my Tio went alone. Tio was very nervous and fearful going by himself. He drove these winding roads that the redwood trees covered, with shadows under the canopy, even though it was going on in bright daylight. Tio was thinking about all the things that his colleagues said. He was getting more scared as he got closer to the destination. Once he arrived there was a massive gate that had security code that he had to punch it in to get in. The driveway was longer than the road he was traveling on. Finally, at the long driveway there was a concrete lodge. The strange part was there was nobody there, not even cars. Tio got nervous when he went up to the front door. They were large wooden doors with very strange symbols and carving on them. It scared the shit out of him. But this part gives me a massive freezing chill in my body. When he entered the lodge, it was a massive hall with a stone altar in the very center with a few blood-red candles lit. There was no chairs, no decorations, just that stone altar sitting in the middle of the hall. He got a creepy feeling in his stomach. Tio said he would rather get fired than him ending up there. He ran back to the van and he floored out of there. After that he quit the job. The lodge members wanted him to go up there again. But a month after Tio quit it, he heard on the news the people who lived there were devil worshippers and did vampire rituals and would constantly lure people up to the lodge to do God knows what with them. The fact is that if my Tio wasn't aware of his surroundings, he would ended up as a sacrificial victim, and thank God he decided to get out of there. If it wasn't for that, I would never have seen him in my life. Grandfather's house. In the year 2002 I was 15 when my grandfather died. Now I really didn't know my grandfather. I mean, I knew him, but I really didn't get to know him like I should have. That was a rough summer, because after that my family were fighting in court with my grandfather's sister and her daughter. We fought in probate with them. After the probate court day was over, we won. We as family decided to have an auction on my grandfather's estate. It took us about 2 months to get everything moved out of the house and into the site of auction. One day, my mom, dad and sister had to run to the auction site, and I really didn't want to go because I was overheated and I wanted to sit and read my book I brought with me. So, as soon as my family left, I sat down on the couch, opened my book and also turned on music. As the music was going, I heard footsteps about me on the next floor. I tried to ignore it. About 13 minutes later, I was still reading and listening to music. The footsteps were back, only louder. I thought that someone has broken in. I honestly thought that it was my grandfather's sister. I thought, shit, I have to check and see what the F was going on. So I had a cell phone with 911 on my screen and was walking up the stairs. I saw my grandfather's bed and picked it up. I'm slowly climbing up the stairs. I remember that we had the windows open upstairs because it was summer, which means it's hot and stuffy. So I'm standing on the top of the stairs. I yelled out, "I don't know who the F are you, but you have 1 minute to get the F out of this house or I will call the cops and beat you with this bat." As soon as I said that, all of a sudden a cold wind blew everything closed. I don't know what happened, but next thing I remember was I was on the couch like I never left, and my mom yelled at me. I don't know why, but soon as I saw my mom I started to cry, and she asked me, "Did you see them too?" My blood went cold after that. I told her that I need to go out of the house, but I couldn't find my cell phone. I started to panic. My mom took me out of the house while my dad went to go find my cell phone. He found it at the top of the stairs with a bat, and the windows were open again. My dad came down with my cell and the bat. My mom asked, "Why is the bat up there?" I said, "Defense." Then my mom said, "Against what? A ghost? You're only going to hurt yourself." After that, and up until the auction, I was never left alone again in that house. Shadow in Ireland. In spring of 2009, I was about 21 years old and I was going to Ireland. It was always my dream to go back where my family came from. The only thing that worried me was that even though I was with a group from college, I was going to another country by myself, no parents. To a normal 21 years old, that was great, but I was different. I had never been really anywhere without my parents, and I had never left the Midwest. Hell, I really didn't leave Missouri all that much in 21 years. Anyway, I got on the plane and flew to Ireland. The first day was great, but then I started to have separation anxiety, and I missed my parents. So I went to the local internet cafe and saw they had phone booths. So I got into the booth and was crying when the phone was ringing. I heard my mom's voice and I was so happy to hear her voice. I said, "Hi mom." She said, "Sabrina, are you okay?" And I said, "No, I want to come home." She said, "What happened?" So I told her what happened. After I told her what happened, she told me, "I would come to get you, but I can't, so stop being bossy and enjoy yourself." After that, I got off the phone and realized that it was dark. As I was playing in the internet cafe, man in the front desk for using the phone, I asked him where Temple Bar was at, as I was staying at a hostel there. He told me directions, but he said it so fast that I couldn't understand him. I asked him to slow down. He did, and I understood him. As I was leaving, he said something that made my blood run cold. "Watch out for shadows, they run wild, stick to the light." As I was walking, the street lights dimmed down, spooky sounds started. Maybe it was me because I'm in another country, knowing what I know about Ireland history. I was about to piss my pants. The noise got louder. I dumbly ran into a dark alley and saw a shadow. It was chasing me, and it was laughing demonically. I was frozen. I couldn't stop looking at it, those red eyes. Don't know how, but I got to get up and started to run. I had my camera that I bought for the trip and I started to record myself. I said, "My name is Sabrina White and I'm 21 years old. I'm from Trenton, Missouri, USA. If anyone finds this, tell my mom and dad I love you." I was in the middle of the alley, and when it's going faster, and I went faster, and I saw the thing at the end, the light. It was light from the hostel. All I had to do was keep running to the light, and I did. It was chasing me. I had bust through the doors and fell on the stairs in front of the hostel desk. I scared the crap out of the night desk man. He asked me, "Are you okay?" After catching my breath, I went back outside and I didn't see it, and I said, "I'm fine, could I please have the room key?" As I was getting ready for the bed, I thought, why was that thing following me? I grabbed my camera and watched what I recorded. After watching it, I deleted it. What is the moral of this story? If you want to travel, please use the buddy system. I know it's lame, but maybe if I had someone walk me back to the hostel, maybe this wouldn't have happened. To ever what the hell was following me, let's not meet. Thank you guys for stopping by, hope you enjoyed the stories, and since you're already here, please subscribe, leave a comment and hit the like button, thank you. And if you have a story to share, please do, my email is in the description box. Stay safe and I'll see you soon.